This is Natural Powerlifting Radio. Deadlifts, chicken nuggets, video games. This is Check My Total, a powerlifting podcast with Timothy Payne and Andrew Hinson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the planets have aligned, the taxes have been filed, Santa Claus has come to town, and the Easter Bunny's getting close. This is episode 52 of the Check My Total podcast. Here with the one, the only, Timothy Payne.
And of course, the guy talking is Andrew Hinson. Well,
it's been
talking.
Episode 52. It's crazy. It has been one full year of this podcast.
Yeah, as all of you know, we're a weekly podcast, so episode 52 means 52 weeks.
I was looking up on YouTube, and our first episode came out on the 27th, but we recorded that first episode like a week or two in advance.
Yeah, the first, I think we had 3 in the can before we posted the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely been a year, but it doesn't feel like it at all.
I know. It's hard to believe it's been a year. And you know, this podcast has been, I've had fun with it. I think it's been interesting. You just don't know what to expect sometimes.
No, and you've always been a pretty outgoing person, but I know for me personally, it's doing this podcast has made it easier for me to talk to people. Like, I don't feel self-conscious anymore about like approaching somebody like a stranger, because all the guests that we've had on our podcast, some of them we have no clue who they are really until we actually started talking to them that day. So a lot of anxiety about talking to people and stuff went away when we started doing this podcast.
It's been fun. Definitely learned quite a bit this year. Talked to some cool people, and you know, we formed bonds with people that we didn't even know existed.
That's true, and learned all kinds of stuff too. The different ways people train. I mean, you know, there's no one way to skin a cat, so it's always cool to hear the different methods people are doing.
Yeah. It really is. And, you know, not to mention, like, we were talking earlier today, but, man, we've been to a lot of places in this podcast.
I think my favorite place so far is still with Theo going to the Waffle House.
Yeah, I think Theo in the Waffle House, that was an early on episode, I think. That was a fun one. The Waffle House. Where else? We've been to the Waffle House. Michael Belk was at the lacrosse practice.
For his son.
We've been to, where else have we been? Oh,
like I said,
I was in a Bojangles parking lot one episode.
We called a guy, Steven, who was in the fitness challenge. He was in the Michael's craft store with his wife when we called him.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
The Miami boys, they were at the UFC gym in Miami.
Yeah, they were at the UFC gym.
In the basement or something.
Yeah, they said they were going downstairs, so.
Yeah. I guess that doesn't mean it's a basement, but well, we've been on a couple of cop rides with Burleson.
Oh, that's true. We have been on cop rides before. We definitely have been chasing the baddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about those. What would the department do if they were like, Michael, you can't be podcasting and chasing down these baddies?
Well, in his defense, he did always put us on hold when he had to go chase somebody down.
That is true. He did leave.
He's a responsible man.
He is very responsible.
He's a cop. Gotta have to be. Unless you're crooked, which Donut Man, he ain't crooked.
He ain't crooked. He round. Yeah, we met a variety of guests. I think We kind of started off. The guests in the earlier episodes were kind of people that we had connections with, and through time, we started talking to people we barely knew, had no relationship to, never heard of before, and it just kind of grown.
And we
So yeah,
also spoke to people with different athletes. Like everybody wasn't a power lifter, which I enjoyed doing some of that, getting outside of our comfort zone.
I do too. I mean, because when you think about it, a lot of lifting YouTube videos, just lifters in general. I mean, like, yeah, it's really cool to see how people do things differently, but like at the end of the day, it is like powerlifting, and like, I mean, it is not the most complex sport, and so it's nice to have other people from other sports that have to consider more elements, like a football player, basketball player, uh, has to consider different elements. Strongman has to consider more than just 3 lifts and has to be prepared for whatever a competition throws their way.
Yeah, and we've had runners and cross country stars. When I like listening to these sports podcasts, not even talking about ours, but other ones, I love the sports psychology, people's minds, and how they get into a certain mindset to how they, even perform.
Yeah,
That's the kind of stuff that trips my trigger. It's nice to know somebody's program and how they've got to where they're going, but a lot of that has to do with your brain power and, what kind of fortitude you have.
exactly. Because let's be honest, if you have someone doing a 5x5 and that's what they do throughout the most of the year, and they stick with the same stuff most of the year, that's hard to do, and they don't change it up much because they know it works. Like, it takes a certain mindset to go to the gym and do variations of the same thing throughout the whole year, or like the same kind of volume building, because you just know what works for you.
Yeah.
Takes a different mindset to do things do things that way. I think one of the most interesting ones was Theo, how every Saturday he does well, I think what 5 rep max or something, sets of 5.
I'm not sure, but the thing that sticks out is that he practices all 3 powerlifting events on Saturday. So
Yeah.
he'll squat, bench, and deadlift all on the same day, every Saturday, which is exactly what you're doing if you're going to a meet.
Yeah, I thought
So,
that was really neat, and
yeah, I love that concept. It's always made sense. Well, it's always made sense ever since he said it. I've never really thought about it before. But, yeah, that's exactly what you're going to be doing anyway. So it's a good way to train.
yeah, I used to do a lot of squatting and then deadlifting within the same training session. Back when I was with Cravey.
Man, we need to get a hold of him for a podcast.
Man, I know. I don't have. I need to ask. John Allen. Not the John Allen we do the podcast with, but another one that me and Timmy know, because I don't have his number anymore. But yeah, like because he moved to Texas. Jason Cravey's the guy I started powerlifting with. He went to church with me and kind of introduced me to the whole concept. But he moved to Texas for a job when I was 16, I think. So I trained with him for 2-3 years, probably 2 years, and then I hooked up with Payne and Keith. But he went to Texas and I'm pretty sure he ended up getting a new phone number or something. And I don't know I forgot what his job was, but I know he got really busy and he was working just tons and tons of hours doing whatever. And like, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where he moved off and I just haven't really heard much from him.
I wonder if he's doing any kind of lifting, because Texas is a huge strength place with all these football players and everything.
Yeah, I wonder too if he's still doing it, because he was because back when I was started with him, he was on the comeback train, for where he injured his low back deadlifting.
Right.
Because if I remember correctly, he was deadlifting 595. It was really close to 600. And what happened is like he started to lose grip. He almost had it locked out, and he started to lose grip. Well, instead of setting the bar down, he like tried to like bend, like slightly lean and like re-grab the bar as it was slipping, and it like really jacked up his back. And he was always on the comeback train, and then he got a lot better. And then
I'll tell you what, though, his wife was a real impressive lifter too.
oh yeah, yeah.
She had really good form, if I remember right.
Well, his wife was a lot stronger than me when I first started.
She didn't play.
She was a lot stronger than me, and she would like push. Like we had these like 300-pound tires, and we would flip and push. And she was way better and stronger and way more athletic than I was when I first started.
How many children do they have? Like 4 or 5? They got a bunch, don't they?
I'm trying to think. I think they have 4.
Because that was always impressive too. They would come to meets together, and she'd keep all them kids in line.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I forgot why I brought Gravy up. I brought him up for a reason.
What were we talking about?
Oh, yeah, how we would squat and deadlift on the same day.
Right.
Yeah, we did that a lot. Yeah, that team that helped a lot just because that's what you do in competition. And
now, would you do both heavy though?
Yeah, which that kind of sucked.
Because I mean, we've squatted and deadlifted in the same day, but you know, you're not maxing out on both in the same day.
I mean, it was heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did. I will say though, I was my hardest workouts and just absolutely just nuts programming was definitely with him. Like we just did so much crap in one
Y'all
day.
did some interesting things.
We did some just ridiculous stuff. The hardest workouts though were the ones we never touched the barbell. Those were the hardest ones, and it was like, or we did speed work, like just light work, and then we went outside. Those were the rough ones. Like, he had two tires. One was 300-ish pounds, and then one was a legit 800-pound tire. And like I don't know where he got that thing from. And then he made all these metal kegs full of sand, different amounts of sand.
Cool.
And then we had a sled. And he actually made his own prowler. So we had a sled and we had a prowler before they were mainstream.
See, I love doing that fun stuff though, like getting away from the barbell. But you're right, it is.
They were the hardest workouts though.
Yeah, it's more that strongman stuff's got a lot to do with endurance.
Well, and a lot of it had to do with like
You've already worked out.
I'm 14, and
plus
like
you're 242.
I'm 14. I'm like just getting into the sport. I'm like working my way up in the weight classes. Man, I tell you, flipping those tires and throwing them kegs, and then we did this every now and then. We would push his truck. He had an older pickup truck at the time, and we just pushed it up and down the street, and like, man, it was crazy. It was nuts.
What kind of truck did he have?
No, it's pretty similar to my S10.
It's not like a 250 or something.
No, but his neighborhood had hills. we pushed a truck up these hills, and it was ridiculous. It was crazy. And like the thing is like he would just push you as much as you would let him. And like, I don't know. I just went with it, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, man, we need to try to get him on here.
Yeah, we went too hard some days. Looking back, the only reason I progressed and got stronger doing that crazy training was because I was young. Like 100%. If I was not 14 years old, those workout sessions would have crippled me and made me unable to move.
Hey, Cravey got through him, though.
He was. It was catching up with him, though.
As those Miami boys said, you were getting those newbie gains.
Yeah. I was getting those newbie gains, man. Those are good times. Yeah, I do need to try and grab them.
So, a little behind the scenes of Check My Total. Usually, we didn't start recording every Monday, though. What was our normal day? We were recording on...
We did. We started on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We started on Thursdays and then ended up... Thursdays, we had to switch because I think I started jiu-jitsu.
Well, we probably started going back up to the mountain before you
and,
even did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and so it just wasn't working for Thursdays.
And then we tried like Sunday between going to church, I think, for a little while.
Yeah.
Then we decided to start having guests. So then it kind of depended on when the guests would be ready. And now we just do everything on Monday.
Yeah, we try to do things on Mondays. That's when we generally record.
If the guest doesn't work for a certain Monday, we just try to schedule them for another Monday.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm saying all this is because also on Monday, after Andrew and I talk and podcast, we have game night with the boys.
That's right. We do have game night with the boys. So our game night with the boys, we always do it on Monday nights. You know, sometimes it's more than one day a week, but it's always on Mondays consistently. But it's me, Timmy, and then Steven, which has been on the podcast before. He's been in a couple of podcasts, I think, one or two.
Mm-hmm. At least
two. One of our friends from North Carolina. And then another one of my friends from college, Kenneth Moody, has been joining us on Monday nights as well. But yeah, we have a little gaming group. We just get on the PS4 and we just we play a variety of games. Just kind of shoot the bull, Bible playing and whatnot. Plus, you know, this podcast is whatever we want to talk about.
Deadlifts, video games, chicken nuggets. You hear it every single time you listen to the podcast.
It's true. And you know, for a podcast that's got video games in it, we don't talk about video games as much as we should. But
or chicken nuggets.
Or chicken nuggets.
Man.
Hey, but Burger King spicy nuggets though.
I was just about to say that. But yeah, if you're listening to this and you have a PlayStation 4, send us your gamer tag. We'll hook up.
Send us a gamer tag and tell us that you listen to the podcast, because if you're just some random dude, I probably ain't going to accept it.
True that. But yeah, usually Andrew and I are on at least 4 times a week, maybe.
Yeah, you'll catch one of us on throughout the week.
Come home from work and unwind with some video games.
Yeah, basically. That's basically what it is. It's a nice way to unwind. Just kind of get with the boys and see what's going on. But I'm excited to see what happens with this podcast for the next year.
Me too.
And who we're going to have on and learn a lot. And because we game on Mondays, we're going to get I'm going to text the boys and let them know we're ready for them to come on. We're gonna have Steven and Kenneth. Steven maybe. He said it's Moe's Monday, and he might be eating at Moe's, and his wife might not let him pick up. But we're gonna call Kenneth and Steven. We're gonna get them on here. We're gonna shoot the bull a little bit, and I think we're gonna review the God of War series.
Oh yeah, because I finally finished the last one. A year later, after its release.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can add Kenneth to this call at least.
Oh, yeah. And while you're doing that, I'm going to look up some check my total statistics.
Yeah. See what's going on. I am excited to see what happens this next year, you know.
I think we can at least double our viewership.
Yeah, it'd be nice to double our viewership. It'd be nice to get some people on that are just from different athletic backgrounds. See what we can learn. See how we can help other people in their training. And it's the meticulous, metabolicness, Kenneth Moody!
What's going on, everybody?
Is meticulous a word?
No.
It is now.
It is now.
It's kind of like bootylicious. He meticulous.
Bootylicious. Man, Kenneth, we just got done reflecting about the different guests we've had on the podcast and whatnot, and what's going to happen. See if we can, get more people to listen to us this next year. What kind of different guests we'll get on, and told people about the game, how we have the gaming crew. Told them we're going to give them a review of some video games and just talk about crap. And Steven says he's eating. Did not call. I'm gonna call him anyway. I'm gonna call Steven.
Hey, so the podcast that we have with the most downloads is still the first one.
Really?
Which has been out the longest, and of course everybody was curious.
Yeah, sure.
But coming in number 2 was Check My Total 17, Sumo versus Conventional
Welcome
Deadlift.
to Mo's. This is Steven.
Oh,
Steven?
Hey.
Didn't I say not to call me?
I just figured we might as well give it a shot.
Okay, real quick. What's your order from us? We'll never know.
We'll never know. He left.
I'm honored to be on this podcast.
But anyways, our number 2 most well podcast was Sumo versus Conventional. Which that was a fun one. We had a bunch of different guests on.
Is this from Lipson?
Yeah, this is Lipson. I still don't know the Apple stuff or the Spotify stuff.
Is it possible to get the data from Apple or Spotify?
Probably. It's been a whole year and I still ain't looked into it, but we probably could.
So yeah, this is only from Lipson. So I guess this doesn't account for any views on Apple, YouTube, or Spotify.
Yeah. So Lipson, another behind the scenes is to make a podcast, you have to find a distributor. So our distributor, which I can't talk, distributor is Libsyn, Libsyn. So you pay them a subscription every month. You upload your podcast to Libsyn, and then Libsyn is the one that sends it to all the other places. So you only have to upload it to one spot. That's the cool thing.
That's nice.
Yeah. So we upload it once to Libsyn, and then Libsyn shoots it to Spotify and shoots it to Apple or iTunes. Yep. So, but you have to sign in to Spotify and iTunes to actually look at those statistics. I can't talk tonight.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there's a market for that. If you made some kind of subscription service like what Libsyn's doing, but then also aggregate the downloads and views and listens. I mean,
that's true. I wonder if there's a way to make like a dashboard of all this stuff.
Hey, go for it, Andrew.
It's right up Andrew's alley.
Yep.
I might be able to do that. I might be able to do that for real if Apple and Spotify and Libsyn have public APIs that I can listen in on and use. I might be able to.
And you do know how to code.
Yeah, I did learn to code.
What's the weirdest place you think people are listening to us?
The weirdest place?
Yeah.
The most bizarre country. I'd be pretty surprised if we had someone in the India area.
That's what I was going to say.
If we have
India, let's check. We've got one from I don't know how to say these. Okay. Well, anyways, we got 7 people listening to us in India.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
wait.
Oh,
So
man.
does Lipson lay out the stats like over the course of the whole Check My Total podcast? 7 people have listened, or they do it down to like the episodes?
They do it by downloads. So 7. We've had 7 downloads in what we're talking about, India. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. They don't do it by. So it's not how many people view it. It's how many people download it on Lipson.
Right.
Okay.
We got 2 in Saudi Arabia. We've got 2 in the Philippines. We've got 2 in Kenya.
Kenya.
What's the most downloaded state? Like who has those downloaded them? I assume it's someone in the state.
North Carolina's strong with 239,
Whoa.
which is where we're from, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Number 2 is California,
Oh.
but that's where most everybody lives is California. That's the
Really?
biggest
Okay.
state.
Well,
What about
yeah.
what about Great Britain? Didn't we have some people from Great Britain?
Who are you talking crap on that one day? What country was that?
I was talking crap about Illinois, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
at the time Illinois was our second most downloaded state, and I just like slandered.
Oh.
I bet you they ain't now.
Yeah, what's Illinois sitting at right now?
I don't know about Illinois, but we got 26 in Ontario, 10 in Quebec, 3 in Alberta, 4 in British Columbia.
I'm just sorry, Andrew. Can you say that again? What state is that?
Illinois.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard that S there at the end.
I probably did. I probably did say Illinois. I probably did. I'm from the South. I don't know. The alphabet.
You're from North Carolina. That's not the South.
Yeah, it is. Dude, North Carolina is the original 13 colonies, man.
That's not the South. That's the original 13 colonies.
Dude, North Carolina is definitely this. It ain't the North.
North Carolina was a union state.
Does that mean it's the South?
They actually flip-flopped both ways. They went back and forth.
What can I say? I don't know anything.
But no, Illinois is just kind of in the middle of the pack now.
Where's Alabama and Tennessee at on it?
Same thing. They're all around about 20 people. So
I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually kind of impressed we have that many downloads off of Lipson just from those areas.
Oh, that's just on Lipson.
yeah, this is just Lipson. So
Wow,
total
okay.
downloads is 6,279.
Dang.
Across the past year.
Yeah, for just a little
Oh,
old
wow.
powerlifting podcast.
That's really good. Just off of one. I mean, there's no telling what it is off of Apple and Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It'd be
you gotta-
interesting
you
to
gotta-
put it all
We gotta
together.
get on this. We gotta figure out if we can actually see the stats for those other ones.
You right.
But
Sure, you can.
yeah, I would hope so. But yeah, man, I'm glad that we can all game tonight. But I think we're gonna give a review of the God of War game, and I guess kind of the God of War series in general. I think we've all played them, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I missed out on God of War 1 and 2. Those
Well-
are the only ones I haven't played.
I've played all of the main games. I haven't played any of like the PSPs or prequels or anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't played the 2 PSP games either.
Did you play the prequel game that came out?
I
Yeah,
don't
those
think
were
that's
PSP,
right.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, the prequel was on PSP.
I think
yeah.
so.
I know at least one of them was.
Yes, I think 1, 2, and 3 came out on PS2, or excuse me, 1 and 2 came out on PS2, and then 3 came out on PS3. But you know, if you've played one of them, if you've played 1, 2, or 3, or the 2 on PSP, you've played them all, except for the newest one.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start with that. The mechanics in all of the games except for the newest one on, I guess, just PS4 because it's exclusive.
Yeah, were the older ones? Did y'all get? I don't what I should preface this. I only played God of War 3, the remaster on the PS4 last year. And I'm sure the games were great when they came out, but I got kind of bored.
Kenneth,
on the
are you
third.
stapling something? What's going on?
Oh, sorry about that.
Kenneth be clacking.
Yeah,
Anyways,
sorry.
I'm sorry, Andrew, that we were interrupted, but please continue.
What was I talking about? Yeah, what y'all
We
think
only
about
played
the
the
last
remaster.
ones, all the other God of Wars? Because y'all probably played them when they actually came out. Because when I played it, God of War 3, it was last year, and it wasn't the most up to date. It was just an older game, like things like that. Were they really good when they first came out?
You know, when the first one came out on PS2, I was pretty young. You know, I guess Timmy and me are about almost the same age, but you know, it was good at the time, but it was just like any other action game on the PlayStation 2 at the time. I mean, it's cool. It was bloody. It was more mature than the other action games. But you know, the play time, the time that it took to play through the entire game was still, you know, less than 20 hours. I mean, you could probably beat it in 10. You know, depending on what difficulty you play on. Just no replay value. But it was different, and it did stand out in that it was rated M for mature. It was bloody. It was gory. You know, so it had those things going for it.
Sure.
I don't know how Timmy felt about it.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. And like Kenneth said, we were so young when it came out that I actually didn't play those games until the third God of War came out. And they came out with a collection of, you know, it was all three games in the same, what am I trying to call it? Disc.
Oh, yeah.
Not same disc, but same.
Like a box set.
Box set, that's the word. That was the first time I ever played it, was the box set. So I was already a teenager and actually of age to get a mature game.
I wasn't.
Yeah. Like, I've never played Grand Theft Auto or anything like that until I was old enough to. So, being older, I thought the games were pretty cool. I've always been about that kind of time period, Greek mythology. I love the Spartacus TV show that came out on Stars.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all about that kind of stuff. The Troy movie. Anyways, that's my kind of time period. So that's why I love these games. And I've always loved mythology too. It's kind of, if you had to compare it to something like Marvel and DC are today's mythology. Back then, you know, the Olympians and everybody else, those were the superheroes of that day and age. And I'm all about superheroes. So that's kind of how I view it. And another thing is I usually play a game for the story and stuff. I'm not big on gameplay like I know Andrew is. Like, I love them Telltale games where you just press one button.
Oh, God, shoot me now. I hate those games.
Yep. See, I'm all about the story, and I think God of War has a really good story.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely
does.
Those Telltale games, man, I always hated them. Press square to save Martha. Press circle to divorce her. Like, it was so boring. I don't know, because I play games for the gameplay, and if they have a good, I do appreciate a good story, but I don't appreciate a good story if they sacrifice on gameplay and it's just not fun. I have to be engaged. But
Well, I guess a lot of people thought that because Telltale ain't a thing anymore.
oh, it's not, is it? I forgot about that.
Yeah, they closed them down earlier.
Do you know why? Was it a lack of sales or?
I guess so. I really don't have a clue. I just saw a thing on Instagram one day.
How sad.
I know. I was digging the Batman series. I've got both of them games.
I played the Walking Dead one some, but that's it. I'm kind of like Andrew. I'm not a huge fan of them, although there was a few games that I've played kind of like that I've really enjoyed, like Heavy Rain. I don't know if you ever played that.
See, I've never played it, but I want to because I heard that's actually a really good game.
Yeah, it was when it came out, I was like, I've got to get this. And it was so different. But the story just gets you so invested. The graphics were just incredible for that time. And there's a remaster, I guess, on PS3. I guess it's kind of a remaster. I mean, not on PS3, PS4. And it was on games with PlayStation Plus for free, and that's where I got it. Another copy.
I think I have Heavy Rain. I just have never worked my way to play it. So how do y'all feel about the way so the old God of Wars were one thing, but this new one that came out last year, what do y'all think about this new direction the series is going with the new gameplay and it was almost like just a brand new game. Like they I don't think they like mechanical wise, and they didn't really keep a whole lot of stuff from the older games as far as like how the game and world works.
So the old games, the camera angle was kind of high up in the air, and you could see your entire character and pretty much the entirety of the whole level for the most part. Like I'm thinking about that first time you ever play, which you don't know this, Andrew, but the first level of God of War is that you're trying to save a ship from getting eaten by the Hydra.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so you run onto this pirate ship and you got to kill the Hydra. But anyways, the camera angle, like when you run onto the pirate ship, you can see the whole pirate ship. This new game, God of War for PlayStation 4, it's an over-the-shoulder kind of camera angle. You're always behind Kratos, which is the main character. I like it. The new game is they try to do it completely in one shot. Kind of like that Birdman movie, if anybody's seen that with Michael Keaton. It's all one continuous shot. That's how they did this new game. The old games, they'd have cutscenes and skip to different locations, and the screen would fade to black or whatever, which this new game doesn't do. I really liked it. And, PlayStation 4 engine and graphics, it looked amazing. I really love the story as far as what they did with Kratos, which I guess we can go ahead and say, spoiler warning if anybody worries about a game that came out 2 years ago. But, Kratos, he kills all the gods or whatever, and they don't really say how much time has passed since the last, I guess we can call this God of War 4 for the sake of talking. Yeah. Between 3 and 4, they don't even tell you how much time has passed. But Kratos is obviously older. He's got a beard. He's got a son named Atreus, and it's estimated or guesstimated that he's between like 8 and 12 years old. They never really say how old he is. So obviously some time has passed, and the old games was all Greek mythology, and the new game is Norse mythology, which was probably a good move because how popular Thor is with the MCU and Marvel movies. Oh, yeah. I'm sure that brought a lot of people in.
Yeah, I kind of like the story. There's one question I had about the story, and maybe one of y'all can answer. Do you know why Athena popped up in the game? Was it just Kratos reimagining her, or like something with Pandora's box? I don't know. I don't really know why she popped up.
Timmy, you might remember a little bit more than me, but I think basically it's, I think he had some kind of romantic relationship with her. Correct me if I'm wrong. And she ended up sacrificing herself when he, spoiler alert, went to kill Zeus in the third one, or did he kill her in an earlier game?
I think he killed her in an earlier game.
So that didn't happen in 3 that you remember?
I don't remember killing her. Yeah, I don't remember killing her in 3.
But I think there was some kind of romantic involvement.
I don't remember, but I feel like Kratos did kill her at some point in time, though.
Yeah, no.
It's been a hot minute since I played the first 3. But anyways, that scene takes place right after Atreus gets really sick, and Baldur knocks him out or whatever happens. I don't remember. I just played it like a week ago.
That was
So, anyways, he takes Atreus back to the cabin, not the cabin, but the turtle where Freya lives, and he decides he has to go back to his cabin in the woods, to get the blades of chaos.
Man, that was sick when I got those blades, man.
So I can't remember if Athena is on the boat ride to the cabin or the boat ride after you get the blades. But anyways,
cabin.
This boat ride is basically Kratos reflecting on his whole life. So that's why I think Athena pops up. Because if you look around during that scene in the background and stuff, there are scenes happening from other games, like in the hills and stuff. So I think he's just reminiscing and going through his whole life, and now he's got this little boy that just got hurt and is dying. So he's reminiscing or wherever, and that's why Athena pops up. Which I wish I could remember what Athena said.
Yeah,
I think she said something about him being a monster.
Yeah. So I think he was just the internal conflict with him, bringing this boy into his lifestyle. I think that's what was going on.
I like the new direction and the new story that the games are going. I think the gameplay is pretty fun too. You got a bunch of skills you can level up for the Chaos Blade and the Leviathan axe. But man, it hooked me at the beginning. Kenneth was telling me at the beginning, he's like, "Dude, you just wait, man. It's gonna be good at the beginning, man. You're going that first fight's pretty darn good."
Yeah, when you fight Balder.
Yeah.
It's
good. That's so good.
He's like the police that show up to your house with like a search warrant. And, like they just escalate things unnecessarily.
Yeah, it just and like out of nowhere, man. You're just flinging him, and then he's just wrecking you, and it's so good. It's a good intro.
Yeah, I loved it. Another thing that I heard in a YouTube video, because I watch a lot of YouTube, is the only times Kratos goes into his Spartan rage, like during cutscenes and in the story, is whenever somebody tries to threaten Atreus. Is the only time he starts to like freak out and go into the Spartan rage, which is what happens in that first fight with Balder, because Balder somehow or another they get on top of the roof of Kratos' cabin, and he's like, "Why are there two beds?" And then that's when Kratos, flips the switch and goes into Spartan Rage. That's the first time it happens.
I was Googling it just real quick just to check, but in God of War 3, he actually accidentally kills Athena because she's corrupted by Pandora's box, by greed. And she kind of manipulates Kratos into going on this revenge quest against, spoiler alert, his dad, Zeus, and killing him. But when he tries to kill Zeus, she kind of gets in between him and he kills her. And then when she's dead, she kind of becomes even more evil, like in her spirit form.
Okay.
And that's why she pops up in the God of War for PS4, because she's kind of still haunting him, trying to control him to some degree.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see where the game goes. I'm actually really pretty invested in the story because I liked it so much. But man, what are y'all's predictions? You think Kratos is going to bite the dust and die in this the next one, or in the whenever they want to end this new series?
Let me back you up and say, what do y'all think about Atreus actually being Loki?
Man,
spoiler.
Man, I think that's wild. Like I really was not expecting that, and I did a little research, and Loki is supposed to be the father of the world serpent.
Yeah.
And so I'm confused. I'm interested to see what happens in the games if like he controls the world serpent, or if the world serpent dies and somehow he bursts a new one. I don't like. Very interested to see what's going on. What's going to happen there?
Also in the game, the world serpent has a mention, which I don't know how you would know this because you can't understand what the world serpent says. But I heard or read somewhere where the world serpent says something along the lines of, "You look familiar," talking to Atreus.
Huh.
So there's not conspiracies, but theories that for the next game, or however many more games they're going to do, is that it has something to do with time travel, and that's why the world serpent is coexisting with like Atreus at the same time, with Loki being its father. So something to do with time travel. So
Wow.
I don't know. You know how people get out there with their
Yeah.
theories.
Well, I think I don't know if it's the secret ending or regular, but it shows the rest of that tapestry, right? I don't know if y'all saw this.
Yeah,
but
I
it
know.
shows Kratos dying and Loki holding him.
Yeah.
And, that's like, I mean, how are they going to tease killing off Kratos? Man's been the main character of 6 games, maybe 7. I can't remember if there's 7 or not. But he's been the main character. What are they gonna do? Make puny little look like make boy the main character of the games?
This is what I think is going to happen. I don't know how many games they plan on making, but I think the end, something huge is going to happen, and Kratos is going to end up dying, and I guarantee you play the final mission as Atreus, and you go in there and you kill the final whatever, and then the series ends.
So do you think it'll be Thor that kills him or Odin?
I think it's Odin. I bet you that's how it goes. The next game is focused around Thor. I'm willing to bet you never meet Odin, or at the end of the game you get a cutscene of Odin.
And he kills you after you kill Thor.
Yeah, and that you like something happens, and you either the Thor series ends with you killing him or something, and then the next one is like you going after Odin, and like Odin wrecks you, but then Atreus, you play the final mission as Atreus. Because I do not feel that they're going to do that. I don't feel like they can actually kill off Kratos and then have Atreus take his position and actually make a game series with Atreus.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Who knows? But
well, another thing we haven't really talked about is that Ragnarok is also coming. Because when Baldur dies and that snowflake lands on his cheek, yeah, it's a big moment saying that he's, can actually feel something. Because that was his curse. He couldn't feel anything until Freya or whoever breaks the curse. I don't remember how that happens now.
Yeah, she's his mom.
Yeah, but he can start feeling again. So, you snap his neck or whatever, he falls over onto the ground, and that snowflake falls on him. Well, that snowflake is actually the beginning of what Norse mythology calls the Fimmel winter. And this winter is like 3 seasons of winter. So, normally you just have your few months of winter. Well, this winter is supposed to last like 9 months. And it's the winter that happens before Ragnarok comes. So that's what happens at the end of the game, is that it's the beginning of the Fimmel, however you say it, winter. And Ragnarok's coming. So I've seen where some people have theorized that, which another thing to bring up is the world serpent and Thor are like mortal enemies. And the world serpent actually kills Thor in like the actual mythology Ragnarok. So that can be kind of a spoilers too. But a theory I saw is that during Ragnarok, Kratos dies. This would be like the end of the sequel. And that the beginning of the 3rd game in the new trilogy, or however many that they do, is that when Kratos dies, he actually goes to the land of the dead from Egyptian mythology.
Oh, Egyptian?
So then you go to Egypt, and that's how the 3rd game starts, is going to Egypt and dealing with all the Egyptian gods.
What the heck?
And then, and then you saving Kratos from whatever the Egyptian hell is or whatever.
Yeah, I figured if they kill him off, they'll at least have some way for him to come back within that game or early in the next.
That's true. Or I would, I know it's a huge money maker, but I would actually be okay if Kratos actually died and his death was like really intense or really meaningful, and like it actually like wraps up the series or something like that, or like I'd be okay with him dying if it's handled well.
It's got to go on to Boy. Let him take over the reins, become the new God of War.
Yeah,
Boy.
but you really think they're gonna make are you really gonna play a game as Atreus and not Kratos?
Well, if he's grown up and actually has some skills, yeah, sure.
True, if they did age him up, I think I would like that
Yeah.
better.
If it's like, yeah, if he's like Kratos' age or something whenever it first started, then yeah, I'd play that.
But see, I don't see him being that much older in the next game, because if the Thimble winter is supposed to last like 9 months, if they follow that kind of, schedule, well, I mean, what's 9 months going to be for Atreus?
Yeah.
A couple hairs on his chin.
Yeah, maybe. No.
Well, welcome back,
Steven,
Steven.
how was Moe's?
It was good. It was Moe's Monday. You can't go wrong with Moe's.
Well, Steven, do you have a theory about what the next game is going to be about for God of War?
I just told you.
They're going to age Atreus up?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I don't know what else they'd do at this point. There's got to be
all
some
kinds
sort
of
of...
stuff.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I'm saying it right now. They're ending the series with Kratos dying, and you have to fight the final big bad with Atreus, and the series ends.
I don't know, man. There are a lot of cool things, just little Easter eggs. Like Atreus' mom's name is Faye, and then you learn that she's a giant. Well, Loki's mother in real mythology is Laufey. So Faye is just Kratos' nickname for her. Kind of like you have Boy. So he just calls her Faye. So she's actually Laufey. And then, like the writing on the wall, talking about the tapestry or whatever, is whatever the word is that's near Kratos is Loki's father's name. But the translation is something like Cruel Slasher, which works with Kratos. But
It's a pretty cruel slasher. Yeah.
whatever that translation is whatever the name of Loki's father is in real mythology. There's little cool stuff like that.
I'm excited to see where it goes.
Me too.
Is there
But
like rumored a next game, or are we just like speculating here? Because I haven't seen anything.
Oh, we're just speculating.
They
It'll
made
probably
so
be
much
next
money.
Gen.
Yeah, that would tick me off if it came out just for PlayStation 5.
True. That's
You know-
probably what they'll do.
You know,
When is the PlayStation 5 supposed to drop?
2020 next year,
Man,
sometime.
I need to make some money.
all I'm saying is if they have not implemented backwards compatibility, I'm gonna be ticked. I'm gonna be because seriously, I don't know if I can keep doing this, man. Because it's a money thing. It's not a technology thing. I know you can freaking make your games backwards compatible because I know your PS4 games, they're running on PC hardware. It's not that different. And like I know you can do your freaking backwards compatibility now. It's not like the PS3 games where you freaking made those games on whack hardware that like you can't emulate very easily, and your code was trash. But like it's freaking the PS4. There's no excuse for no backwards compatibility except for money, so everyone can crank out the remasters and all that stuff, and so people can just rebuy the same games. And I'm telling you, I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it because I'm just tired of these consoles doing this. I'm tired of all my libraries not being able to work on the new console. It makes me want to just buy a PC and just stick it next to my TV and hook it up and just go back to PC gaming sometimes.
But yeah, especially with the age of downloadable games, like there's no reason to, because it's be so easy to just transfer the data over and be able to emulate it or play it on the new system. Like there's no reason. I can understand maybe a disc if it can't read it or something, but when it's a downloaded game, like there's absolutely no reason. And then we don't even get, our money back of trying to trade it in or anything because we literally can't.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, I will be so mad if there's no backwards compatibility, and it will honestly probably influence my decision to buy or not to buy because I just don't know. I can't keep doing this thing where I spend all my time and money on a system, then the next system comes out and I just can't do anything anymore.
Good old capitalism.
I'm with you, man. Or at least do something like Xbox does, to where if a remaster does come out, if you have the original, you can get the remaster for free.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I
that's how Xbox works. So,
What?
like for example, Kyle I think he had Modern Warfare. So whenever that remaster came out, he
Do you just like go to GameStop and say like, "Here's my old copy, give me the new one"?
no, it's online. So like it's already in your library. So Xbox recognizes that you have the game in your library. So then you just download the remaster for free.
Oh, so that makes sense. But if you
Yeah.
have the disc, then I guess it saves a copy to the system anyway, so it could still read it.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's right. Y'all can fact check me on that. But
You still have those hashes connected to your account when you have a game. You still have those codes or whatever they tie to your
Yeah.
account number. But yeah, I'll be so mad if there's no backwards compatibility. I'll be pretty ticked. I'll be pretty disappointed. I don't know what I'll do, honestly. Like,
If there's not, I probably won't get one right away.
no,
Actually,
well,
I may not get one right away anyway.
yeah, I'm most likely not going to get one right away unless some crazy good game is immediately coming out. But
Unless
I
there's
don't.
like a Spider-Man 2 attached to it. Like, I don't know.
what I'm saying, like,
The reason I don't want to fully fledge into PC gaming. I should preface this was I was really big into PC gaming. I actually have my old gaming PC at my apartment right now, but it's hard to do.
Someone's breaking up.
Wait, Timmy, I can't hear you. Timmy, can we hear you?
hello? Can you hear me?
All right, you're back.
All right. It does say I have poor connection. So if I leave again, just wrap it up.
Well, hey, you know what? It's already gaming time. Let's wrap this bad boy up.
It's been 1 year, people.
It's been 1 year of the Check My Total podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for y'all to get with the crew. Play the PS4. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor. It's because of you fans. It's because of you fans in Great Britain, in Taiwan, in Taiwanese, in Africa, in Southern Africa, in Illinois, in California, and Texas, and in the Atlantic Ocean, wherever you are. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is you keep on going. I don't care what your life is right now. Tomorrow's a new day. I don't care if your kids are crying and pooping right now. I don't care about none of that. I don't care if you're working through something tough right now and you can't see past the sunlight. Because tomorrow's a new day. It's a new day, and it's because of all you. You inspired us. We've met a lot of people through this podcast, and we've met a lot of interesting takes on training and lifting. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the United States of America that we're podcasting from. Freedom Country. We're glad you can listen from all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the gaming crew giving you your take on Kratos and what's going to happen. And we are out of here, and we'll see you around. We hope you're good. And you know what? Just have a great day. Drink some milk. We'll see you later. And remember, don't stick things up where they're not supposed to go. We'll see you on the next one.
We're out.
Thanks for having me.
Up next is the IBP Tar Heel State Powerlifting Championships in Belmont, North Carolina on April 20th. For more details about the competition, go to ironboypowerlifting.com.
Please subscribe and thank you for listening. Be sure to follow @CheckMyTotal on Instagram for all the latest updates.
I've never understood why they call that Joey Bag of Donuts.
I don't know either.
Like, there's no Joey, there's no bag, and there certainly ain't no donuts. Like, I'm
Well,
not gonna
the
get
burrito's
gypped here.
kind of a bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still ain't no
okay.
donuts.
Yeah, no.